Picture this. It's 11:30 at night. A family is driving back from a wedding. The father is slightly tired but still laughing. The mother is scrolling through photos. Their little daughter is asleep in the back seat. No seatbelt, her head resting softly on the window. A bike cuts across the road. One wrong turn, one hard brake, one body thrown forward. Pause that moment. In that frozen second, nobody is thinking about traffic rules. Nobody is thinking, I should have worn a helmet. Nobody is thinking, I should have forced my child to buckle up. In that second, there is only one question. Did we value our lives 5 minutes ago? In India, we say life is sacred. We pray for long life. We cry during tragedies. We say, life is God's gift. But the way we live tells a different story. We race on broken roads. We skip helmets for short distances. We ignore fire exits. We breathe polluted air and say, what to do? We eat adulterated food and say, sab chalta hai. We skip health checkups because, I feel fine. And when something goes wrong, we say, it was fate. This video is not about blaming one driver or one government. It is about a hard truth. We are not just risking our own lives. We are quietly gambling with the lives of everyone around us. Every day, you cross paths with strangers. The rider next to you at the signal. The child crossing the road. The nurse in an ambulance. The delivery boy trying to reach home. You may never know their names. But your one careless decision can permanently enter their story. When someone drives drunk, overspeeds, jumps a red signal, or checks their phone while driving, it is not a personal risk. It becomes a public weapon. Hundreds of people die on Indian roads every single day. Many of them were simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. Most of those deaths are preventable. Helmet not worn, seat belt ignored, speed chosen over safety. These are not acts of destiny. They are acts of decision. But danger does not stop at roads. When a builder uses low-quality cement to save money, that building becomes a slow-ticking bomb. A pillar meant to stand for 50 years weakens in 5. A balcony collapses. A staircase gives way. We call it an accident. But was it? Or was it a series of silent shortcuts? When roads are poorly constructed, potholes become traps. A 4-second skid. A bus overturns. A student never reaches home again. Food is another invisible danger. Reused oil, chemical colors, adulterated milk, excess pesticide. They don't kill instantly. They slowly destroy organs over time. Every time we say, adjust, we strengthen the chain. The chain that begins with convenience and ends with tragedy. Not all dangers are dramatic. Some are silent. Air pollution is stealing years from Indian lives. In some regions, people could lose 5 to 10 years of life expectancy because of polluted air. That is not just a statistic. That is birthdays not celebrated. Grandchildren not met. Parents aging too soon. Why does this happen? Because shortcuts are cheaper. Because regulations are loosely enforced. Because long-term health is sacrificed for short-term gain. Lifestyle diseases are another silent crisis. Heart attacks at 45. Diabetes in early 30s. Stress becoming normal. Long sitting hours. Poor diet. No exercise. No sleep. We tell ourselves, I'm still young. Until one day, the body says otherwise. And then there is financial neglect. No emergency fund. No health insurance. No term life cover. One hospital bill can erase years of hard work. This is not just about poverty. Many people can afford entertainment, gadgets, and celebrations, but delay basic financial protection. When we refuse to learn basic money discipline, we are not being relaxed. We are shifting the risk to our loved ones. When we fall, they carry the weight. Let's go deeper. Individuals make careless decisions. But sometimes, systems also fail. India does not lack rules. We have building codes, fire safety laws, food regulations, emission norms, traffic rules. The problem is not the absence of laws. The problem is inconsistency in responsibility. What happens when inspections become paperwork instead of protection? What happens when safety certificates are granted without real checks? What happens when fire exits exist only on paper? What happens when poor construction continues despite known risks? After every tragedy, we see inquiries, statements, compensation announcements. For a few days, there is outrage. Then silence. and the pattern repeats somewhere else. This is not about attacking anyone. It is about understanding something important. When responsibility fails at any level, individual or institutional, life becomes fragile. Asking for proper enforcement is not anti-system. It is pro-life. Demanding safety is not rebellion. It is respect for human dignity. The most dangerous thing is not questioning. The most dangerous thing is accepting negligence as normal. When negligence becomes normal, loss becomes routine. So what do we do? First, understand this deeply: your life is not just yours. It belongs to your parents, your children, your partner, your friends, and sometimes even strangers who share the same road as you. So some decisions must become non-negotiable. Helmet, always. Seatbelt, every seat. No drunk driving, ever. Basic health checkups. Some movement every day. An emergency fund, even if small. Simple insurance for protection. Not because you are scared, but because you respect life. Second, speak calmly and consistently. Ask your society about fire drills. Question unsafe structures. Report dangerous roads. Support policies that prioritize public health and safety. Change does not require shouting. It requires persistence. Third, stop glorifying recklessness. The overspeeding driver is not brave. The rule-breaking contractor is not clever. The careless officer is not practical. They are normalizing danger. Development cannot grow on negligence. A strong country begins with citizens who value themselves. You are about to step outside. Keys in your hand. Helmet on the shelf. Seatbelt waiting. That small voice in your head still whispers, does it really matter? Remember the sleeping child in the back seat. Remember the weak balcony. Remember the polluted air filling your lungs. Remember the stranger crossing the road. Your small decision today might never be noticed. No headline will say, accident prevented. But somewhere in the future, a child will laugh longer. A parent will live healthier. A family will stay complete. A stranger will reach home safely. Because you chose responsibility over convenience. Valuing life is not emotional. It is practical. It is daily. It is disciplined. And when millions of Indians quietly decide that their lives matter, India becomes safer. India becomes stronger. India becomes respected. Not someday, but step by step. That is how we build a nation. That is how we build self-respect. That is how we build a better India, every day.